How's it going, folks? So the time has finally arrived. The most prolific, the most uh, waited for, the most expected and anticipated best of uh, albums of the year video has arrived. This is the one that everyone is just waiting for. All the other lists and all that stuff, folks are like, yeah, but we're just waiting for Power Metal Ranger to name his favorite albums of 2022. And here it is, folks. You know, I like to wait for the whole year to go by so I don't miss any albums. Well, of course, I'll still miss some, but you know, I wait for the whole year to go by. I flag albums throughout the year that I think will make it into my top 20 or at least be contenders for it. So once the year ended, I've been spending the last several weeks just listening to countless albums, the best of the year, so I could determine the order uh, in which I feel like the albums should go. In my top 20 countdown, all the way going to be countdown to my number one favorite album of 2022. It's been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun too, listening to all the great albums that I loved throughout the year. So yeah, here it is. Whew, Lordy, another year has gone by, but I don't want to drag this on too terribly long. So before I get to the albums though, I'm going to name my favorite songs of the year. And if you've been following my channel and you've seen my monthly best of the month videos throughout 2022, you already know what the top 12 songs are. So boom, there they are, right there. There's the top 12 songs. Each of these songs in order were my pick for best song of the month that they were released, starting from Reckless Love with Turbo Rider in January, going all the way down to Twilight Force with Sunlight Night in December. So yeah, those were the top 12, and I only counted singles. I didn't pick like random songs from albums. They had to have been released as official singles for the month that they were released in order for me to count them. So yeah, those were the winners of each month throughout 2022. Those 12. I put the links to each of them, each of the 12, to the video or song down in the description below so that you can check out all 12 of these, because each one of them is very, very worth it. So go down there, check them out if you haven't already. And just do me a favor, if you click the link and you go to their video, in their comment section, just tell them Power Metal Ranger sent you. That would be super duper cool. But so what I did is I narrowed it down to my top 3 favorite songs. So each of these was awesome. Again, check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, I narrowed it down to my top 3 favorite of these 12 for the year 2022. And I'm going to reveal that right now. There you go. Those top three best songs, best singles released in 2022. We got Reckless Love with Turbo Rider. We got Symphonic with I Found My Way Back Home. And we got Crystal Gates with Moonshine and Sorrow. But just like the Highlander, there can be only one. So I wanted to do my top 3 favorite, but then I had to narrow it down even further and pick my favorite song released in 2022. And it is none other than, well, if y'all know me at all, you probably all saw this coming, but my favorite song or single released in 2022 is Reckless Love with Turbo Rider. Oh man, what a song this is. It's just got everything that I just love it. 80s vibes, great synth, some electronic beats, some electronic drums even going in there. Just driven guitars, melodic rock, you know, 80s AOR kind of vibe with some heavy power metal influences in there as well. This song has it all. Even like the 80s kind of like spoken word moments that this song just oozes personality and 80s and spirit, and it's just awesome. So energized, so powerful. The vocals are incredible. The musicianship is great. This song is just absolutely inspired, and I just love it. I've loved it ever since I did the reaction back in January. And some of you may have even been like, when I named this song as my favorite song of January, some of y'all may have been like, this is going to be his favorite song of the year. If y'all know me, it just, I can't get enough of this song. It's just so awesome. It's epic. Uh, what more can I say? So, Reckless Love, y'all outdid yourselves with the song Turbo Rider. This song absolutely rocks. It's bodacious. So, yeah, there you have it. That's my pick for best song of 2022. Again, all 12 of the songs that I picked for the best of the month throughout the year, links to the song is in the description down below, so go check them all out. But now, anywho, without further ado, let's get down to the nitty gritty of the albums, shall we? My top 20 list here, and as y'all should know by now, I don't include live albums or like remastered or re-releases or things like that, or EPs. I have to keep myself sane somehow, but believe it or not, I totaled them. I listened to 505 albums in 2022. 505, folks. So narrowing that down to my top 20, no easy task, but so these are my picks for best albums of 2022 out of 505 that I listened to. So we're going to start with number 20, which is Battle Symphony with War on Earth. Epic, power metal album here. A lot of symphonic elements. Really cool kind of sci-fi story and sci-fi vibes. This thing is just absolutely epic. And I just really was blown away by it. Really blown away. This is one of those that just kind of came out of nowhere and really just impressed me quite a bit. Really epic. And before I get to 19, I'm just going to say, I'm going to try to keep my little thoughts on the albums brief, just so that this video doesn't take up half of your day. So I'll give just a little bit of my thoughts on it, and why it's at the place that it is, and and we'll go from there. But so we're starting off with number 20 with Battle Symphony and War on Earth. Now on to number 19, we have Ronnie Atkins with Make It Count. Stellar melodic rock album here, and very diverse, the songs. There's even some power metal influences in some of the songs, and what a vocalist, and the songwriting is just really great. I just really enjoy this thing. It gets me pumped. Great melodies, a lot of power behind the songs. Again, that voice, just incredible. I just love this album. Obviously, one of my favorite melodic rock albums of the year. So that's number 19. Now we're going to move on to number 18, which is Arcane Tales with Steel, Fire, and Magic. I mean, it's hard to get any better as far as a fantasy power metal style album goes. A lot of Rhapsody influences in there, and just the feeling of epicness and grand adventure, and it's just really just, and Luigi Serrano is just a masterful musician and songwriter. It's one guy, he does it all himself, and it's just so impressive how he creates these just vast and epic fantasy power metal albums. And Steel, Fire, and Magic is just really impressive. So number 17, we got Silent Night with Full Force. Oh man, this one just comes in and it just hits you hard and heavy. It's real driven, powerful, heavy metal style power metal with just ripping guitars, great melodies, great vocals. The range on the vocalist here is just awesome. And again, you get some of your more kind of standard power, like epic, like fantasy kind of power metal songs in here, but a lot of them are just just real strong, real great riffs, and just really driven. This album, it goes full force. It's as simple as that. So if you love some great guitar work, some ripping solos, and just some powerful heavy metal, power metal style stuff, this is one not to miss. So then moving on to number 16, we got Dynasty with Final Advent. Man, this album is just pumping, with the keyboard, like the synth, and it just has such a great toe tapping rhythm and beat, throughout the whole album. Very dynamic, great vocals, just awesome melodies, especially like in the chorus. The verses, really kind of build up into the choruses very well, and just really great. You just are really engaged with this whole album, and you can really get into it and really feel it. Like I said, it's pumping, it's very energetic. I think in my album thoughts for this one video, I use the word energetic probably about 50 times, but that's the best way I can describe it. It's just a very energetic and melodic power metal that just really great. It gets you pumped. It gets you pumped. So now, moving on to number 15, we got Satan with Earth Infernal. This one's more of like your traditional heavy metal kind of power metal, like your new wave traditional heavy metal, I reckon. But I just dug it. I dug it big time. The melodies and just the vibe and the feel of it. I feel like they really outdid themselves here. I feel like this is the best album, in my opinion, that this band has ever released. And I can't get enough of it. It just, the beats, the rhythms, I love the vocals, and it just really awesome. It's hard to beat this album as far as that traditional heavy metal kind of power metal vibe goes, like that new wave of heavy metal style. This is one of the best there is of 2022, if not my favorite. I think this probably is my favorite of that style, in this whole list. So yeah, really great. If you're into that style, you do not miss this album. It rocks. Next, let's see, we got with number 14 now, we got Crystal Gates with Torment and Wonder. This album is just really epic, really symphonic power metal, I guess you could say, or maybe even like power symphonic, because there may be more power metal elements in there than like the symphonic metal. But I mean, it's hard to say. That it goes really hand in hand throughout this thing, and it's just epic, really strong, sweeping, soaring kind of power metal songs on here. But then you have some really great, more symphonic metal style. The first song that I ever heard from this band, I believe, I did a reaction to, was Moonshine and Sorrow, which, as you know, was in my top 3 favorite songs of the year. Glorious. It just blew me away, and I was like, this is awesome. And then I checked out some more from them, and I was like, whoa, there's so much more to them than just the sound in Moonshine and Sorrow. Just some really great power metal, really enchanted kind of feeling, and it's just epic, really epic. Really loved that one. Number 13, we got Chronosphere with The Astral Gates Part 1, A Secret Revealed. This is another one that really kind of came out of nowhere for me and just really took me by surprise with how awesome it is. I mean, the melodies in this thing are just phenomenal, just absolutely phenomenal. Just really solid power metal. Some progressive metal elements kind of woven throughout, and yeah, it just has this great feeling, this great, just a lot of power, and again with the melodies, the musicianship is awesome, and it really is the kind of album where when you're done with it, it's like, wow, I just really went on an adventure. You know, it just takes you through this whole experience of the album, and it just leaves you just feeling like, just again, wow, you know, this is awesome. And again, it just really took me by surprise. It just really, really great power metal here, and one of the best ending songs, in my opinion, of an album. I mean, it just, the way this album ends with the song that this album ends with is just one of my favorite ways that an album has ended in recent memory. It just really, really impressive stuff. Incredible arrangements and songwriting here. Just a phenomenal record. Next up, we got number 12 with Vivaldi Metal Project in the album Epic Classica. This album is a doozy, folks. It's massive, first of all. It's like 2 discs, just chock full of content, you know, song wise, but it never gets old. It never drags on. It's just epic, like symphonic power metal here with tons and tons of guests on here. You get some real great, like classical music inspired songs, and then you get some uh, other songs that you know, just feel really, really epic. You know, there's hints of like melodic rock, melodic hard rock sometimes, hints of symphonic metal, hints of power metal, hints of the neoclassical. I mean, everything you can think of. Some beautiful piano work and keyboard work, and the orchestrations are incredible. Um, this album is really just a treat, a treat. It just a absolute. Uh, it's a masterpiece. I mean, granted, everything, you know, on this list, of course, I would consider a masterpiece. But this is just truly an impressive work. Maestro Mysteria is just just a master at putting all of this together and getting everything together, because it's truly something that it's just epic. Just epic. So yeah, definitely one not to miss. Really, really impressive stuff here. Number 11, we got Terra Atlantica with Beyond the Borders. Another one that really just kind of blew me away here. I mean, Tristan Harder's really outdid himself on this album, and it just has this magical quality. It's power metal through and through, and it just truly takes you on a full adventure from start to finish. And there's so many magical moments woven throughout this thing, and at times it sounds like there's a real Disney like kind of quality to it, where there's songs where I'm like, oh man, this should be like in a Disney movie. You know, this is epic, and it's got that magical, positive, uplifting kind of feel to it. That's another thing about the album. It's got a lot of optimism behind it. It's really grand. And yeah, I think I said it in my album thoughts video for this one, but Disney, if you're watching this thing, get Tristan Harders here to write the music for one of your movies. Get him to write the story to it also. Just do this story. It would just be awesome. Just really awesome. And it's quite a diverse record as well. And it's just so much fun. I absolutely loved it. Uh, so yeah, so that's numbers 20 through 11, folks. Now we're down to the top 10. My top 10 favorite albums of 2022, starting with number 10, Sapphire, and the album Taming the Hurricane. This is an awesome, this is another one that I wasn't quite sure what to expect going into the album, but it just fully blew me away. It's like a melodic hard rock with some great progressive, like metal elements in there. The keyboard work on this thing is incredidy. That really kind of takes the spotlight here, is the keyboard work. It's just fantastic, but the melodies are punchy. You know, it just, because you get that like the melodic hard rock element, but then you get that like progressive metal element mixed together, and it just creates a sound that is just so engaging, so powerful, so strong, with some awesome, like I said, melodies where, especially like when the chorus hits, you're just like, you just really getting into it. The vocals are phenomenal, but the guitar work is also phenomenal. I don't want to say only the keyboard is good. Now the whole thing is good, and this thing, it just really blew me away. I listened to it multiple times, and I just love it. It just absolutely phenomenal. It blew me away. Number 9, we got Legions of the Night with the album Hell. This was highly anticipated for me when they announced it, because uh, the album they released the previous year was awesome, and this one is no different. They followed it up, their debut album, they followed that up with their sophomore effort here, and it's just phenomenal. It has a sound, a very unique sound that, I hadn't really heard too much, especially not like in the modern power metal scene. It's kind of dark. It's really heavy. It got the great melodies, and the vocals just are awesome. Just awesome. The range and delivery. There's a real kind of theatrical approach to this album, and like I said, the melodies, the guitar work, the guitar riffs always just blow me away. I'm just like, I'm listening to it, and I'm just like, oh, that's so sick, so sick. The songwriting and the arrangements are incredible. This is just truly like a heavy power metal album. Emphasis on the heavy, but a very unique approach as well. Like I said, kind of theatrical vibes at times, and just phenomenal. I can't get enough of it. Number 8, we got Tungsten with the album Bliss. Uh, Talk about a diverse and dynamic album here. You get some real heavy moments, you get some real power metal moments, and then you get kind of like a sea shanty in there. And, it's hard hitting, but it's also really melodic. Um, just the musicianship is fantastic, and just the way that the songs are arranged, and the way that the vocals are delivered, it just hits in all the right places. It really gets me amped. There are moments where I'm just listening to this album, and I'm just I just get amped, and like I said, it's really heavy at times, but then also you get moments that are more of the like soaring kind of power metal. And like I said, just for good measure, you get a sea shanty in there. So just quite the impressive album. I absolutely loved it. Number 7, we got Violet with Illusions. These folks at Violet have really, I think, kind of taken the scene by storm with their truly authentic approach to the melodic rock AOR genre, 80s style, because I've said it many times before, but I'll say it again. It just, a lot of the melodic rock, 80s AOR style albums, modern these days, they have a sound that is kind of like how we remember the 80s, or how we kind of expect the 80s sound to be, but like modernized. But these folks here on this album truly captured the spirit and the sound of the 80s melodic pop rock AOR genre. It just really, really great stuff. And again, all the songs are very diverse. The vocals are really great. The guitar work, the keyboards, everything is awesome. And the melodies are just so catchy, so infectious. They just bring such a personality to the songs and the music. These folks are destined for something great. I guarantee it. But yeah, this album is phenomenal, and I've been promised by Jamie Beckham, the lead vocalist, that their follow-up album is going to be even better. So, I mean, that's going to be tough, because this album is phenomenal as it is. But that gives us something to look forward to, huh? Number 6, we have Induction with Born from Fire. Man, what an album! What a just fantastic power metal album. The guitar work is incredible. The vocals are great. You get this real in the modern power metal scene. This album just really checks all the boxes, and then some. Great melodies. Uh, Great vibe. You get some really great keyboards, and energy behind the songs. But the songwriting itself is also just incredible because everything is so intricate, and the songs, like, sometimes it verges on like progressive metal, verges on, but it doesn't quite jump to that. But it just, the way that everything is orchestrated and arranged, there's multiple movements at times through the songs, especially with like the guitar work and the keyboards and everything like that. Very dynamic record, and just powerful. Incredible power metal album. Absolutely loved it. Whew. Let me take a breath here because now we're down to the top five. The top five, folks. My top five favorite albums of 2020, 2022. Whew, gee whiz. All right, so let's kick it off, shall we? Starting with number five, we got Galderia with Endless Horizon. I just love this album. The melodies are great. I love the optimistic, kind of positive vibes here. Everything is so infectious, so catchy. So much of it just brings a smile to my face. And again, the melodies are just top notch, top notch. The vocals are phenomenal. Um, and I just love the feeling. This is one of those bands that has really carved out their own unique sound. When you hear a Galderia song, it's like, oh yeah, this is Galderia, and that's something that's really difficult to do. Is to really create a sound that's your own, and they have really done that. And I feel like they just get better and better as time goes on. And this album, it just really, I just love this thing, and I can't get enough. It's just true um, power metal that this got vibes of kind of like the 2000s style, but also like the modern. And if y'all know me, the 2000s era of power metal is my personal favorite. I have a real soft spot for that type of sound, and there's a lot of that here on this album, and it's just great. It's just absolutely great. Number four, we got Battle Beast with Circus of Doom. Oh man, this album came out in January, I think it was, and it's just powerful. It just blew me away. The vocals are just top notch. Nora Lima, she just got such a strong voice. She just knows how to deliver everything, and really how to hammer everything home. But even aside from her voice, the music is epic. The album, it just has its own style, its own vibe, and it's just so powerful. It's so grand in scope, and every song just has its own feeling about it. But it just, the arrangements, the musicianship, and the songwriting. There's pumping tracks. There's soaring, like vocal driven kind of songs that just really create this grand epic atmosphere, and it's just such a dynamic album. I know that's like my go-to word, but yeah, I guess I just love me some dynamics. I'm a dynamic kind of guy, so yeah, this is really a dynamic album, powerful, and I've loved this thing ever since it dropped in January, and my love for it has not dwindled at all. I still listen to this album, and every time I'm just like, it's just such a great album. Number three, we have what is my favorite melodic rock album of the year, with Gathering of Kings and the album Enigmatic. Folks, this is not only is it my favorite melodic rock album of 2022, it's one of my favorite melodic rock albums of all time, truly. It's an absolute melodic rock masterpiece. I cannot get enough of it. It's got everything that I love in the melodic rock genre. Great keyboards, very keyboard driven. That's one thing that I love. A great atmosphere that's created. Again, I'm going to use the word again, but it's very um, uh, dynamic, but very diverse. Where every song, sometimes like albums they can have like a sound, but then it just sticks to like the same sound or style all the way through. So it's like you kind of end up being like, oh, okay, I've had enough of this. But this one, every song has its own personality, its own style. All of the vocals are really great. The melodies are incredible. One of my favorite songs of the year that wasn't released as a single is Vagabond Rise. Such a powerful song. And I love that keyboard driven style in this album. The songwriting is just top notch. Everything is catchy and just what an album. What an album. I can listen to this album on repeat and not get tired of it at all. I cannot overstate how much I love this record. Absolutely phenomenal. So that's my third pick, and ends up being my number one favorite melodic rock album of 2022, hands down, truly, hands down. This one just can't be beat in my eye. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And now here we are, folks. We're down to the top two. The top two. This was tough. I narrowed it all the way down, and I ended up with these two albums. And I had to listen to both multiple times to determine which one I felt was number one. And it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. But I came to a conclusion. And yeah, I mean, both of these albums are perfection, truly. Um, so, at any rate, without further ado, my pick for number two of my best albums of 2022 is Civil War with Invaders. What a mind blowing power metal album here. I mean, I've been a Civil War fan for many years, and I've always thought they were great, but this album has taken the band to a whole nother level, a whole nother level. I mean, it's just absolutely epic and powerful. And the melodies are phenomenal. The guitar work is excellent. And another thing I just love about it is the lyrics are so great. I just really love the lyrics in this album. It just really contributes a lot to just how great it is. And again, it's just powerful. It's driven. It's the vocals are just excellent and really bring out this kind of emotion and power, to the sound. And the music, the musicianship is phenomenal. The songwriting is excellent. I mean, this album is just absolute. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. If you're a power metal fan and you didn't listen to this bad boy, do yourself a favor and listen to it. It is just awesome. And this is another one where the final song on the album, man, it's just great. I remember the first time I heard it, the way they ended the album, the song, it kind of just gave me like the chills. It's just so powerful and just so great. The songs are just epic and grand. Oof, what an album. I mean, there's not much more I can say. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It's power metal perfection. Simple as that. But anywho, that leaves us with my top pick. My number one pick for best album of 2022. And you know what? my number one pick, I guess that's kind of a big deal, right? So I guess to announce my number one pick, since it's kind of a big deal here, I figured I should get somebody who is also kind of a big deal to announce this. It's only fitting. And so I decided, you know what? Let me see if I can get somebody, or who other than who other who is big deal enough to announce this than somebody from the band that I had chosen as my number one pick for best album of 2021. So it is with great pleasure, and I just am just humbled that he agreed to do this. But yeah, so it's none other to announce my number one pick for best album of 2022. I'm pleased to welcome none other than Sir Bill Hudson of Northtail.
Yo, this is Bill Hudson from Northdale, and I'm here to introduce the Power Metal Rangers top pick for 2022. Now, those guys not only have a similar sounding name to my own band, their album title is also very similar to our last album title, Eternal Flame. You guys ready? So the top pick for 2022 by the Power Metal Ranger is Dream Tale with Everlasting Flame. You motherfuckers ripped our title, but great job. It's an amazing album, and hell yeah, man. I hope you guys like the top pick of 2022 for the Power Metal Ranger. Metal on.
Oh man, thank you so much, Bill Hudson, first and foremost, for doing this for me. I really, really appreciate it, truly. What a great guy. But yeah, so there you have it. My number one pick for best album of 2022 is Dream Tale with Everlasting Flame. And it's funny. I hadn't even realized it until Bill sent me his clip that the coincidence here is kind of staggering, because 2021, my favorite album was Northtail with Eternal Flame, and then this year it's Dream Tale with Everlasting Flame. How bizarre is that? Northtail, Dream Tale, Eternal Flame, Everlasting Flame. Maybe I've just given away my secret. So I guess if there's a band this year that their band name is something Tale, and then the album has something along the lines of an unending flame, I guess that's going to be my number one pick. I guess I have a type. I don't know what it is, but really bizarre. But thank you again, Bill, for that. And Dream Tale, Everlasting Flame. This album, it's just got everything, in my humble opinion, that makes a power metal album great. Everything that makes me love the genre, everything that encompasses what got me into the genre to begin with, way back in the day. It just, the dual vocals also do a lot. I just love the dual vocals here. Both vocalists are phenomenal, and the way that they both have their parts and then come together at times, and it's just epic and adds like a whole new really cool dynamic to the songs, and just phenomenal. And the musicianship here is just staggeringly good. The guitar work, the guitar solos are just inspired. The symphonic elements here, the grandiosity of the sound. This is another one where I've been a fan of Dream Tale for a long time, but I feel like they've just taken the band to a whole new level here with this album. And also, this is another one where there's a lot of that 2000s power metal style woven into this album. And again, I always have a soft spot for that. I love that sound. So they took that, but then they also just, with a modern production, and it just really took it all to a whole new level. And these songs, just from start to finish, just absolutely epic. You get your sweeping moments, you get your epic symphonic moments, you get the dual vocals just absolutely killing it. You got the guitar work that's amazing. The melodies are phenomenal. It's just epic. It is just pure, just glorious power metal through and through. It just does not get any better than this. I cannot overstate how incredible this album is and how much I absolutely love it. It's unbeatable. That's my number one pick. Simple as that. Just a glorious, glorious uh, power metal album. A masterpiece. Perfection. Power metal perfection. So yeah, Dreamtale with Everlasting Flame. Congratulations. For what it's worth, your Power Metal Rangers number one pick for best album of 2022. Boom. There it is. There you have it, folks. Uh, Let me know in the comments down below what your picks were for the year of 2022. What were your favorite albums? What do you think of my picks? Let's talk about it. Let's all chat down there. And secondly, just before I let you all go, I love the community that y'all have created around this channel and in the comments and all the folks that I've been able to speak to and stuff. It's so wonderful. I just truly, I'm just blown away by it. It's what keeps me going. It keeps, the love for this channel alive for me, and all of the support that y'all have given me, both the viewers and the bands. I don't have the words. I just do not have the words to express how grateful I am for all of your support. It means the absolute world to me, and it's just wonderful. I mean, this community is just so great. All of y'all have just been so great, so wonderful. Well, what can I say? So, yeah, thank you all truly so much. Uh, Honestly, yeah, that's what I got to say. And yeah, let's talk about 2022 in the comments down below. And I hope you all continue to check out and support my channel. 2023 is already starting off to be a doozy with some great albums, and I think it's going to be another great year. These years just keep flying by. But yeah, thank you all so much for your continued support. Truly, I'll see you all down in the comments to talk about what your favorite albums and whatnot were from the year. And please, let me know what you think of my list here. And yeah. Anywho, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Y'all take care now. I'll catch you next time. Ranger, out.